So today we finally got another look at Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And Bowser's Fury looks absolutely insane. We see so many things going on within this trailer, we just have to drop an analysis and talk about everything that we've seen within this small little trailer. But today we'll be looking at all the minute and huge details that dropped within this trailer and talking about how big this brand new mode is just for the entire game itself and how it feels, or at least looks, like a brand new game in and of itself. But before we get our hands dirty and dive into this trailer for our analysis, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Lots of you guys tune into my videos each and every day, but don't even realize that you're not subscribed. So please just real quick check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. Sometimes YouTube is kind of crazy and messes up, and it is part of one of our big goals for this year is to push that bar over some more for subscribed. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's get into the analysis. Right off the bat, the bell in the middle of the island that we've seen before looks like it is corrupted in Bowser's Fury, as it has all types of black goop and spikes coming out of it, but then it's freed and we see a giant cat bell. We get to see at the end of the trailer exactly what this cat bell does, so you're just gonna have to wait as we're going in order from beginning to end. Then we move on to what seems to be the world in which we will explore. Now, the world is all centered around this one little island where the cat bell is still corrupted, but you can also see the cat towers that we've seen in the initial trailer all over these islands. And they are also corrupted, which means Mario would obviously have to go to each one and clear it off, like the one he's standing on currently. And you can see that each location is kind of based off of a certain theme, as the one in the far back right is based on a snowy / ice world. And this might go on throughout the rest of the map with different themes on different parts of the islands that Mario can explore. And of course we see Bowser's giant shell right there in the water, which seems to be in the actual middle of the map, which means that every single part of the level is going to surround Bowser's shell in a great circle where Mario will have to clean off some of that Bowser's Fury goop, is what we're going to refer to it from now on out. Now, first enemies we see are the cat Goombas, but they look a lot different than what we remember them being. They used to be gold, and they just don't look the same with their brown coloring and almost look like Tanuki Goombas, but they are definitely not Tanuki Goombas. We've seen them before, and they're just Goombas with tails, unless they're wearing the entire Tanuki suit like Mario does. That might be their new form of Tanuki Goomba. Also, right off the bat, you can see that the camera follows Mario almost perfectly in motion as he's running, which means it follows behind Mario, and you're probably able to turn the camera like you can in most, sandbox 3D Mario games such as 64, Sunshine, and even Super Mario Odyssey, which is pretty cool for a Mario 3D World game. Oh, and we can see a hidden collectible in one of these box crates up on the cliff, and we'll get to that more in a second. Now, as Mario and Bowser Jr. are going up a gate, you can see a path for Plessy in the water, where it's almost like a little obstacle course for them to ride on him and go through, and even like little ramps and Cheep Cheep over there, which we'll also get to in a trailer later on. And yes, I know, Bowser Jr. is a partner with Mario in this game, and we are definitely going to dive into him in a bit. As Mario is running up the boardwalk, you can see that there are a line of conch doors ready to just peck him, but they're not the same old conch doors that we remember in Mario 3D World, as they're now cat-themed. And actually, every enemy and creature and everything in this game is cat-themed. Even the birds, you'll see in a second. Mario then jumps from spinning gate to spinning gate and collects some type of cat medal. Now, we do see a giant cat collectible at the end of each level or stage that Mario completes, and it works the same way as the stars or the shine sprites in Super Mario Sunshine. And these might be what you need to collect in order to make the giant cat emblem appear, or maybe there's some type of currency that you can trade in for some type of goodies from some NCP on the map. And speaking of which, we might very well just see a cat NCP in this game sitting by this tree, as it's just a giant cat, and there might be another explanation to what this cat is and what the purpose is in a second, but this could also be some type of character that maybe you'll get goodies for, maybe some type of lives or extra power-ups or something. Who really knows? After all, we do see later on in the trailer that Mario can lose his cat suit, so maybe he actually needs it to complete some certain challenges, and the only way to get his cat suit back is to either go to this cat or maybe the statue in the middle. And in this entire scene, we get to see the corrupted cat bell up close, and some coins sitting in the front of the statue. I don't know if it gives you random coins from time to time, I don't really know what the purpose of that is, but we also get to see a little tiny cat playing with a baseball in the background. It's actually kind of cute. This kitten could actually be the child of the cat that we see sitting beside the tree on the left. We can also see an area that has flip switch gates, which means when you jump, it will switch the gate to red or to blue, and you have to time them up in order to get across or to, obviously in this case, climb that mountain area. Boomerang Bros are back, but this time as cat forms. They have tails and little ears, and that's really about it with them. They still work the same. Mario can also get the boomerang suit and throw boomerangs as well, which means he doesn't have to be Cat Mario the entire time, which is good to know. And we can see a jump platform in the back. And we get to see some little multicolored kitties. These are pretty cool, and they're just little cat creatures that it seem walk around and just act normal. That is until Bowser awakens, because you'll see some more about that in a bit. But we can see once again that Plessy obstacle course in the water in the back, a shrine or tower that's also still corrupted with Bowser's Fury, and another little cat token / emblem or collectible, whatever it is, on the side of this platform. We also get to see some cat hieroglyphics on the side of this platform right here, and we'll see that Mario will jump off the jump platform and obviously slide down, and he's wearing a Tanuki suit, another power-up within the game, which seems to be all the power-ups from Mario 3D World, which is good to see that they're all returning. And he's just going to slide down this platform all the way to collect the cat power-up at the bottom of the hill, which then seems to turn on the cat tower and take away all of Bowser's Fury mess off of the cat tower. We then see an island full of those flip switch gates, which was the same island we've seen earlier, and it looks like you can actually fall within inside whatever this area is. And there's another cat tower, which means there's something to be done here. Now, I don't know how many cat towers there's actually going to be, but it seems like that's where you know where to go, and that's where the missions will take place. We then have a scene where Mario's riding Plessy as Bowser Jr. follows alongside of him, and it's a really cool scene that shows you can swim out in the water and do stuff out there. I don't know how much there is to do and what's the point besides maybe going off to other islands, but you can also see a cat bell power-up floating in a bubble in the water, which probably means it's very easy to find power-ups, which then begs the question, how hard is this actually going to be when the game just keeps feeding you power-ups? Plessy can also jump up and down out of the water and even do a giant dive in and back out of the water again for some extra boost. And we can see some more areas, such as a snow-themed area with moving conveyor belts, and also some speed ring pads in the water that Plessy can probably use to speed up, and a floating island with a windmill that we can actually see in a later scene. Plus, there is another floating island right above Mario with a power-up, as you can see it glowing, which is actually not a power-up, it's actually one of these special collectibles, cat medals, that you have to get in order to clear off the Bowser Towers. We then get a in-depth look at this area, as you can see Mario riding a ice skate shoe, and he's pretty much just skating down this path and using the boost pad in order to run over one of those bee enemies from Mario 3D World that's actually also a cat now, and he jumps off the ramp to collect another cat medal collectible, as there is also another one within the tunnel that he'll have to play gutsies with the spikes on the wall. This next area we can see some birds that are also cat birds, and we get to see Mario bonk on a invisible wall surrounding the next cat power-up gem thing that we need to collect in order to move on. And Mario is going to see these a lot within this area, as this is also a mechanic from 3D World, which is a invisible platform that you'll need to ground pound in order to make visible. We've seen this in 3D World levels, and it's actually a cool mechanic, and that's the only way Mario can reach the spike up at the top. Which means you'll probably have to find an invisible path all the way up to the top and drop into some type of tube in order to reach that collectible, because it's just sitting right in the open, but as you saw, Mario will bonk if he tries to go for it. But also, we get to see that, Spike is a cat as well. He has little cat ears and a tail. Oh, and our new power-up here is Fire Mario. Oh, in the back left seems to be some type of Coliseum guarding a cat tower. And I think I know what this is. This might actually be the initiation of a boss fight, which we'll get to in a bit. Next up, Mario is climbing a giant windmill tower that we've seen before that's floating in the sky. We can see some Parabuddies, and they're actually cats as well. You can see little cat ears on them if you look closely, and a collectible in the middle of the windmill. But if Mario goes up, he gets to the top of the platform because he is using a propeller box that's also in Mario 3D World. So they are still taking and using assets from that game, which is great. And then down below, you can see some ice blocks that Mario will have to probably jump on or fall into the water. And I don't know if the water is especially dangerous down there since it might be ice water, or if there's any effect with that. Probably not, but thought I'd mention it. Mario then uses some type of spring ball that shoots him when he jumps on top of it, and it flings him towards the giant Coliseum, which is probably about to initiate the boss fight. Now we can also see a dock area, which might be where you can call Plessy to you if he's too far away, or if you left him somewhere across the ocean because you're a mean person. You kind of treated him like Yoshi. Now we move on to everything about the new sidekick in this game, Bowser Jr. Yes, Bowser Jr. is going to join Mario with his trusty dusty clown car, and he also has his nifty paintbrush from Super Mario Sunshine. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the EGAD symbol, which many people probably wanted, but it's pretty neat to see that his paintbrush actually comes back, and it's something that he hasn't used in a main game in a very long time. I think since Mario Sunshine, and we're not counting Mario Party or the Mario spin-off sports titles. Bowser Jr. seems to be a AI computer-generated partner that just kind of attacks enemies at his own will. He'll ground pound them with his clown car, or he'll swipe them with his paintbrush, and he'll do some other things that we'll see in a bit. But once again, there's cat-themed enemies such as the cat-themed piranha plants, which is actually pretty cool. But yes, Bowser Jr. seems to be a character that kind of just helps you out as you go and does things for you on his own. Bowser Jr. can also paint walls with question marks on them in order to graffiti some type of item for Mario, as he graffitis a boomerang flower and gives Mario the power-up, which is a huge Super Mario Sunshine reference, which I love, and also Catbird. Now Mario is in that Coliseum we seen earlier, and he's got his Tanuki suit fighting Pom Pom, which is once again a character from Mario 3D World, which is kind of upsetting that it's not a new boss, but you know what, we can't complain, it is just a game edition, so I see why they chose that. And she's cat themed, which means we're probably getting Bam Bam as well, that's also cat themed. So I'm wondering if we're getting any other bosses, or this is it. And once again, this is the Coliseum because we can see the gates right along the edges, and Bowser Jr. also helps here as well, trying to find which one's the real Pom Pom. And we get to see Mario and Bowser Jr. get the main collectible of this game and clear another tower of Bowser's goop, and they do a similar animation that you see in the 3D Marios such as 64, Sunshine, and even Super Mario Odyssey as they put their hand up facing the screen. We then get to see a Bowser wall, and the wall has Bowser bricks which seem to be broken by some type of specific item. I have no clue what this could be right now. Maybe you have to be a special type of Mario, maybe Cat Mario only, or something else that you have to find later on in the level. I really don't know, but we see more Goombas that are either Cat Goombas or Tanuki Goombas, I don't know what they're going with here, and we see a sunken ship in the water. And Mario's once again able to hop into his Koopa Troopa shell and fly around as a Koopa Troopa inside the shell. Now, we also have not seen the Koopa Troopa yet, but we can pretty much assume that they will also be cat-formed as well. Now we approach the end of the trailer where we get to see what Bowser's Fury actually is about. What is this Fury? Well, we get to see a giant Bowser shell, which seems to grow over time and slowly come out of his goop from the water, and he probably enters a new phase every time you complete a cat tower, which we'll see different phases as he slowly starts to ascend into the sky. In this scene, Mario's running on top of the Coliseum area, and you can see the shell is slowly starting to come out of the water even more in this area. In this scene, the shell is completely up and it is spinning in the air with orange tips, which is extremely creepy by the way, and the cats are all coming around Mario, giving him a little bit of grooming, but you can see that they have a small red glow coming out of them, and this might actually represent something that we see in a bit. We then see the shell spin out of control and Bowser pop out, but what's very interesting about this is before we see Bowser actually come out of the shell, notice how the towers in the background seem to still be covered in Bowser's goop. And there's still tons of Bowser's goop, it seems to be, in the background, which tells me that this isn't the end of the game. And they also said on Twitter that this would be a quick look, so what we've seen so far may just be a small piece of the entire game, one small area of the map, which means everything over here could be a brand new area that we have yet to see. Well, if this isn't the end of the game, what the heck is going on? Well, I have a theory. Maybe this isn't just some type of thing that happens progressively as you complete towers, but instead, it happens over time, slowly as you're completing the game. And just like the imprisoned boss fight from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, randomly Bowser will reawaken and you'll have to continue to put him into slumber by defeating him as Giant Cat Mario. Maybe this is something that just continues to happen, as it just seems to be randomly happening within the overworld entirely. So this would be really cool, and maybe each area has a specific thing that you'll need to traverse over in order to get back to the small island in the middle, which houses the power-up for Mario to get huge. But let's take it back for a second. Bowser has now dropped down onto the map, and now he is terrorizing everything as it's nighttime, it's raining, and giant lava pillars are falling from the sky. Now, I don't think these pillars are a necessity for Mario to use, but it helps him if he doesn't have his cat suit, as he can normally probably just climb half of this stuff, but the pillars appear in certain areas to help Mario, assumably, make his way back to that middle island in order to get to that giant cat bell. Also, you'll notice new enemies, which are these evil-looking cats, which are probably the same exact cats that turn evil when Bowser's awakened, as you could see the little red glow in them in the scene prior. Plessy is also able to be used in the water in order to swim away from Bowser, and we can see another corrupted tower to the left, and another one right beside it, which still, once again, doesn't quite make me believe that this is the end of the game. Or maybe it could be, and there's only a required amount of towers that you need to get in order to unlock the bell, and the rest are just extras that you can do, but I doubt it. I really don't think this is the end of the game yet. But yep, Mario's swimming away from Bowser's giant fire beam coming out of his mouth, and he's still trying to make his way to the giant bell in the middle of the island, which assumably spawned already. Now, Mario can hide from these giant laser blasts, as he can hide behind structures or even Bowser's own pillars that he put down, and if Bowser shoots his pillars with fire, they will bust open with coins, which is something that you might want to do if there's some type of currency system or some type of way to buy things, maybe from that cat we seen earlier. But Mario runs away from the fire blast and tries to make his way once again to that cat bell in the middle of the island with no power-up. Now Mario is sprinting and making his way towards that middle island power-up, jumping on, yep, Cat Cheep Cheep. But did you notice something as well in the background? Yes, a bright light which also resembles another giant cat bell, and if we zoom in, it actually is another giant cat bell, which means that this giant island with the little cat statue in the middle is not the only one. There's multiple of them that Mario can travel to in order to get this cat bell, which is super exciting and once again shows my theory that there might be even more worlds and more areas that we haven't even seen yet. Also, like I said earlier, the docks will be a way to call in Plessy, as Plessy spawns right at the end of the dock to the right of Mario. As Mario finally makes his escape and makes his way to the middle island to get the giant cat bell, right before the scene where Mario grows huge, you can see some block stepper enemies at the top walking on the platform, which is just another small enemy from Super Mario 3D World. Now we finally get to see Mario grow into his giant Cat Saiyan mode, where he's able to fight Bowser as giant Goku Mario. And we really don't know how this is going to work or how the battle's going to go, if Mario's going to have different controls or it's going to play a completely different way. But I am super excited to see how this works out and how this plays out. And I do think this is just a boss battle that happens time and time again, and maybe little things change as you progress within the game. Maybe this time Bowser has a certain flame move. Maybe this time Bowser has a super jump. Maybe this time Bowser has a hammer. Who knows? But that is Bowser's Fury. This whole 2-minute trailer was all just for Bowser's Fury, which is super exciting though. We didn't know anything about this, and we know so much more. And I am so excited about this game. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and play it for you guys and check it out. But let me know in the comments down below if I missed anything, if you've seen anything else with your keen eyes, and let me know what you think of this. Is this super exciting to you, and are you super excited to get your hands on this as well? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoy this analysis, please, please, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new to help me grow even more. You guys have been so great on this, and this was super fun to make. It's been a while since I made an analysis on a game, because we really haven't had that many game reveals since Paper Mario, I think, was the last real big one in Age of Calamity. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys all on the next one. See you guys.